Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and I'm back with another video for you guys. By the time this video is going to go up, I'll actually be in China. I pre-recorded this and scheduled it to go up, but I wanted to bring some content for you guys while I'm gone, so this is my second battle against bearsfan092 Sabeldon. In the first game, I actually lost against him, and we played a best of 3, and this is for Nugget Bridge's live exhibition set, so I knew that I was down one game, and if I wanted to win the set, I needed to win both games. As you see here, we're using the exact same 4 Pokemon that we brought the last time, but both of us kind of switched things up in terms of when we brought the Pokemon out, so let's get right into the battle. Of course, in the last battle, I lost very closely in the end when his Tyranitar was basically able to survive with just a sliver of health, Mega Tyranitar I should add, and my Aerodactyl kind of slowly fainted from burn, and he was able to play against my Firethorn pretty well by getting his Mega Tyranitar to +1 and then KOing it with the Crunch. So I know that I need to conserve my Firethorn a bit better this game. He's going to lead with his Tyranitar and Gourgeist against my Aerodactyl and Rotom Wash. Frisk is going to activate, frisking Citrus Berry and Focus Sash, but he knows that already. On the first turn, I expect Tyranitar to protect because there's no way he's going to want to take a Will-O-Wisp, so I just go for a Tailwind and a Will-O-Wisp onto his Gourgeist. Fortunately, his Tyranitar does protect, so I do make that call correctly. Getting the burn off on his Gourgeist is always huge, and I do hit it, so that's really important. And if you're wondering why burn is so good on Gourgeist, it's because Gourgeist is so annoying to deal with in VGC, so getting any damage off on it residually is always good, especially because it counters Rotom Wash pretty hard in terms of typing. It kind of just walls Rotom Wash's attacks. Of course, his Gourgeist actually does have a leftover, so it's going to heal off that sand damage, but with the burn, I'm going to still be able to do 12.5% to it each turn, which is always good when you're dealing with such a bulky Pokemon like Gourgeist. Now, this following turn, I actually expect his Tyranitar to just Mega Evolve and maybe go for a Dragon Dance or a Rock Slide, but he actually switches out into his Scrafty, off getting the Intimidate pressure off onto Aerodactyl, which is of course always good because I actually do carry Ice Fang on my Aerodactyl. I went for the Rock Slide here, kind of just going for the same strategy. You know, if I do get a flinch, that's great. If I don't, I won't be, you know, that's fine. I actually missed the Gourgeist, so that's unfortunate, but the damage output wouldn't have been very great. So I went for the Rock Slide and the Hydro Pump onto Tyranitar, which switched into Scrafty. Scrafty takes it like a boss. I do believe it's carrying Assault Vest, which is why it's able to take that with such a relative ease. Gourgeist gets the Leech Seed off onto Aerodactyl, and I'm really nervous at this point because Gourgeist is just walling my team, and I need my Charizard out, which is the only Pokemon on my team that can actually effectively deal with it. But Scrafty is known for carrying Stone Edge, so I don't want to switch out something like either of my Pokemon into a Stone Edge from Scrafty, because Matt's a great player, and he's definitely going to be able to predict the switch out accurately, so I don't want to risk anything. So my main priority right now is to KO Scrafty, because I'm almost confident that Scrafty carries Stone Edge. Here I just go for an Ice Fang onto Gourgeist because I just want more damage onto it, and you see there really doesn't do very much to Gourgeist. Go for another Hydro Pump on Rotom Wash. Need as much damage as I can get because Thunderbolt is not a 2-hit KO, and as I mentioned earlier, Scrafty does have Stone Edge. It misses my Aerodactyl, which is actually better for him than for me at this point, because and the reason for that is while it's always great having more Pokemon, getting Charizard out with Tailwind up right now would be ideal for me, because I could just Heat Wave both of his Pokemon and Thunderbolt the Scrafty, or even Hydro Pump it, because I'm sure that Scrafty would switch out, but I am gonna just stay in with that Aerodactyl, and since the Stone Edge missed, it's gonna stay in for another turn, but I'm still in a pretty good position. However, his Gourgeist is gonna get a Leech Seed off onto Rotom Wash as well. Now he's healing both from both of my Pokemon each turn. That's really, really annoying, and I know I need to KO this Gourgeist, because otherwise Firethorn will not have a nice time at the end of this game. So here I decided, okay, since he went for the Stone Edge last turn, he might not go for it again, but to ensure that, I'm going to Hydro Pump the Scrafty anyway. So I bring out my Charizard, but Matt anticipates this pretty nicely, and he's going to switch into his Salamence, which is going to take that Hydro Pump, obviously like a champ. Salamence is going to get its Intimidate off onto both of my Pokemon, but that's not really going to matter because both of my Pokemon are special. However, he still definitely got the advantage in terms of momentum with that great switch into Salamence on his part. Hydro Pump is going to do a relatively good amount, like 30%, as Gourgeist does go for the Leech Seed onto the predicted switch out, and Matt calls that correctly, but he's going to miss there. Not going to matter in the long run, but obviously moves like that are often demoralizing. You kind of have to get over it, but Leech Seed does have pretty shaky accuracy. He's going to take some more damage from the sand and the burn. Of course, Gourgeist still slowly healing back with that leftovers and that Leech Seed onto Rotom Wash, which is really, really annoying, but I know I need to KO it, and if there's any time to do that, it's right now. So this following turn, I expect I expect him to think I'm going to protect with Charizard and just Draco my Rotom Wash. So I just actually go for a Heat Wave. I once again don't Mega Evolve, similarly to the past game, because I don't want that Tyranitar to come in and break my Sun. And I know this is the last turn of Sand, so I he does. I feel like, I go like, oh no, this is bad when he goes for the Draco Meteor onto Charizard, but I take it with just 4 HP because Charizard is not the it's actually pretty bulky, and so I'm gonna pick up the KO on Gorgas, which is exactly what I needed, and I'm gonna go for the Thunderbolt, and this will KO Salamence. I believe it gets a critical hit, but with the sand damage on top, actually, excuse me, sand would have gone away this turn, so that crit might have mattered, but I believe I was using my more offensive Rotom here, and that's normally a KO onto Salamence. So I'm going to take a 4-2 lead here, and that's great, and I escape pretty lucky there. Sand goes away. Obviously, I actually wasn't counting the turn, so I was expecting my Charizard to go down, but I'm very happy. And at this point, it's Scrafty and Tyranitar against 4 of my Pokemon, but of course, Tyranitar beat me 3-1 in the last game, so I know I have to be careful. But this time, I've conserved Ferrothorn a bit better. So I know I should just KO, once I KO the Scrafty, this game is pretty much over, because Ferrothorn will be able to take that Tyranitar on. I'm going to finally Mega Evolve here, and I'm going to get rid of his Sand, so to get rid of his boost, but he's actually going to Mega Evolve here to take away my Drought, I believe, which is what he does. For a second, I believe I almost Solar Beamed with Charizard, but then I ended up just going for a Heat Wave. I didn't try to predict a fake out. I just wanted, Charizard can't really do very much at this point that my other Pokemon can't do, and I just need to KO Scrafty, and Charizard doesn't need to be the one to do that. But I didn't go for the Protect here, and fortunately that plays out well, because obviously Protect would make no sense, as I would just faint from Sand. And I know I outspeed the Tyranitar, so I just get my Heat Wave off. It's going to miss the Tyranitar, but it's going to hit the Pokemon I needed to hit, which was Scrafty, and it's going to KO that. So I'm going to take a 4-1 lead at this point, and this time my Ferrothorn will be able to clean this game up. He's going to Dragon Dance with Tyranitar, but now that it's 3-1, I feel much more comfortable about my position than I did last turn, because while Tyranitar +1 Tyranitar can do a lot of damage to Ferrothorn, it's never going to be able to one-hit KO when it has moves like Crunch and Rock Slide. So now I know I can finally bring in my Ferrothorn, and with Ferrothorn and Rotom Wash, I should be able to close this game out. So I bring out Ferrothorn, as I mentioned earlier, and here I'm just going to predict, I don't want that Rotom Wash to faint just yet, from a Crunch or Rock Slide, but Matt plays this turn perfectly. Actually, excuse me, he doesn't. He goes for the Crunch onto Rotom Wash because he does not want to get burned from Will-O-Wisp, as I do hit my Leech Seed, and that's going to ensure me basically the victory, because he can't one-hit KO me with Crunch, and I'm basically going to take some HP, and next turn I can actually just KO with the Gyro Ball and a Hydro Pump. Here he just goes for a last kind of attempt Crunch onto my Rotom Wash. So fortunately the Protect last turn actually saved me, but I knew that even if he crunched my Ferrothorn, I would have been able to survive and get the Leech Seed off. And I'm just going to Gyro Ball here this time, and that's going to bring him down to just around 1 HP, but that Leech Seed will take it off and KO him. So I'm going to win game 2, 2-0. This time it was a lot better on my side. The first game was really intense. Second game, I was able to escape by conserving my Ferrothorn a bit better. And so that's how you kind of adapt in a best 2 of 3. And I made a couple of good calls earlier on, so that saved me. And that's it for today's battle, guys. I'm going to be uploading Battle 3 very soon, so stay tuned. Of course, like, comment, subscribe. 300 likes is always the goal for these videos, and I'd really appreciate that. But, do whatever you guys can want to do. And I'll see you next time. Peace.